Hi everyone, welcome to the Irish American Heritage Museum's our road kitchen. We're back in style with Harold and Jean Coulters being our welcoming hosts, and of course our chef Michael Kiernan. Today we're going to make Irish seafood chowder, and controversial is the wrong word, but we're having discussions about recipes. So the recipe book that Michael is using today is called Elegant Irish Cooking, written by Noel Cullen, who I think you said was head of the culinary school in Boston.
Chef Noel Cullen.
Chef. So, you know, this is not your mother's chowder is what I would say. This is elegant chowder. But that's the beauty of Irish cooking, you know, when you're just throwing things into a pan, which Harold will take offence at. But that, you know, when you're stewing things, you can mess around with stuff. So I'm going to turn over the camera now, and Michael will show you how to prepare your Irish seafood chowder, and we'll be discussing as we go. And Chef Harold has made some beautiful brown bread, which we'll talk about afterwards too. Okay, so thanks, Michael. You're on.
Okay, the basic ingredients are cream, potatoes, seafood, of course, fish stock, and vegetables. So Elizabeth says in Ireland it's carrots, onions, celery. Today we're using leeks, onions, tomatoes, garlic, and of course potatoes, and a little bit of fennel.
So this is a fancy one.
Right. So we're gonna cut up the vegetables. Everything will be small dice. So I have one large onion, I have one leek, I have a tomato, which I will concasse. I will take the skin off and then dice it. And then garlic will just chop fine. Potato will just dice as well. And the same goes with the fennel.
And do you parboil the potato, or can it, you know, cook away? Yeah.
So there's two ways you can do it. You can put it in the stew and cook it with the vegetables. But I like to get it just right, so I do the potatoes ahead of time. I boil them ahead of time and then just turn them off. Then I add them at the end. Okay.
Okay, great. And when you said the fancy word for the tomato, is that sticking it in really hot water and the thing comes out?
Yeah, sticking it in hot water. You put a little score on the bottom of the tomato. And then you take the...
Oh, that kind of middle core thing out.
Take the core out. Then you drop this in boiling water for a few seconds. Take it out, put it in ice water, and then the peel will come off. And then you cut it in half, take the seeds out, and then dice it.
Okay, good.
And it comes out like this.
And they say like the seeds are not great for, we can't really digest them, or my grandmother anyway used to say, don't eat the pips.
Yeah. I mean, you can put a whole tomato in and just dice it.
Okay.
This is just a little fancier.
Perfect, okay. Well, see, this is it. We're doing the elegant Irish cooking today. Good.
So then, after all the vegetables are diced and sauteed, which I'm going to start now, we'll let that simmer a little bit for about 7 minutes. Then we're going to start with butter. Put about 4 tablespoons in.
Okay. Now you could use Kerrygold, like salted or unsalted. Yeah.
Kerrygold would be the best.
They don't sponsor the program or anything, but we do like it. But note to self, talk to Kerrygold. Because this is part of a series we're doing, Michael, the Irish cuisine, traditions, culture and innovation. And, you know, Harold in particular has felt very strongly that there is much more to Irish food than this bad reputation we have, you know, for just boiling the sugar out of everything. That in fact, you know, Ireland has been farm to table for many years, and so we should take advantage of that.
Absolutely. I mean, the raw ingredients, the seafood, the lamb, and everything in Ireland is second to none.
It really is, yeah. I'm just home actually, or back in America. I was at home for 3 weeks and took all my pictures are of food. So, and the clips in Ballybunion, but everything else was food because it was so good.
So I have...
Put in your onion.
I put in my onion. I'm going to dice up the leeks now.
Okay. And if anyone watching has questions, just type them in the comments. You know, we'll be able to see those.
So leek, you just cut off, and then they're separated like this. You have to make sure you get all the
mud out. Yeah.
And then they're very easy to dice.
Yeah, so I only recently learned to chop the leek down the middle, you know, because sometimes you're, there, you know, 6 leaves in, there's mud. You're like, my God, how many more times can I wash this thing? But if you do that, you can get to all the mud.
Right.
Yeah. And leek, of course, would be lovely. You know, as I say, I think the basic kind of chowder you get in Ireland really does just have onion, carrot, and potato, celery.
Right. Yes.
But you see sometimes leek, you know.
Leek is just a milder form.
Yeah,
of
right,
onion.
of the onion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so you're not, oh, you are going to fry these up. I was going to say,
Yep.
it takes onions a long time to get translucent, so you,
Yeah,
you start
yeah,
with those, yeah.
Start with these.
Mm-hmm. So, mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And then this is fennel, which right now is in season.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So you can find it, I found this just at the local market.
Okay.
Fennel has the same thing that a leek does. It has a big spot on the bottom that you have to take off.
Okay. And now I will say I adore fennel. It has that kind of licoricey, aniseedy
Yeah.
taste, but if you don't like it, leave it out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. And this takes a long time to cook as well, so you should add it at the same time with the onions.
Okay. And those leaves, you know, can be kept for garnish, the little bits at the top.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
we used to grow this and eat it walking
Yeah.
past it, you know. It's a good breath freshener too.
Yeah. And it's,
Oh God, that smells amazing.
yeah,
Well, I love licorice, so it's
it's very easy to grow as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I kind of sometimes sneak my little fennel in by just using Pernod instead of
Yes.
actual fennel, you know.
Yeah,
So we were
100%.
talking earlier, your recipe I think has no alcohol in it. Not
No.
that all Irish recipes do have alcohol.
Right.
But like sherry or Pernod goes quite well. I presume you could add a little bit of white wine, you know, if you wanted to.
Absolutely. Sure.
Yeah. But I you know, my tip of the day is Pernod. Okay.
So a little bit of garlic as well. Mm-hmm. I would say not every chowder has garlic.
Yeah.
This particular recipe does.
And so, you know, the Irish chowders are in general the creamy ones. We don't really use,
Correct.
you know, the tomato.
Yes.
One tomato is fine, but
Yeah.
not that red color. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This will just be like a pink color. It won't be totally red. It will definitely have cream at the end.
Yeah, good. And of course, we were talking too, you know, American variations of this. A lot of them put in corn or, you know, clams. Your own kind of American ingredients would work fine, sort of too.
Yes. In a traditional clam chowder, there's bacon also.
Oh,
as well.
nice, yeah. So I was saying, my cousin has a restaurant down in England. His chowder is consomme based, you know, and he kind of does a little Thai flourish with lemongrass and that kind of thing. It's a very thin broth, you know, as opposed to the cream, but it's delicious too. And that's, again, I think this is such a flexible, this
Yes.
poor man's food really, you know, it was whatever you could catch. A lot of times Irish families did have dried smoked fish because it would last longer. So, you know, a lot of chowders in Ireland do have a little hint of that smokiness from a, you know, a dried, maybe mackerel or haddock or something smoked, you know.
Yeah.
And I like that, but a lot of people don't like that flavour smoked, so we're omitting it today.
Right. And then in the olden days too, I was reading they often thickened it with hardtack, maybe on a
yeah.
ship. You know, and that
Those
that
crackers,
was
like?
yeah, those
Oh,
crackers,
yeah.
yeah. So that was one way to thicken it. We're going to use flour to thicken it.
Right, yeah. And even the potato, I suppose, if you, you know, left the chunks big enough would be,
Sure.
yeah.
So we're going to let this saute for about 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
Till the onions are translucent.
And so there's been no seasoning put in there now yet, just
Nothing
the
yet.
veg.
Yeah. So right now we have the garlic, the fennel, and the onions.
Okay, yeah, I'll just give you a little look. Ooh. Great. Sorry, I lost control of my stand. That's lovely, yeah. So it does. I was watching some chefs arguing the other day about how long it takes onions to become translucent, and someone timed it, and it was at least 13 minutes. You know, so when you see these recipes like 5 minutes, it's not 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. Yeah. Now we're going to make our roux.
Okay.
So I'm going to take about 3 teaspoons of flour.
And now this roux is not going to necessarily be, I think we talked about this the last time, like some people are afraid of roux, but because you've already started the food, you know, you're not starting in an empty pan.
Right.
Yeah, so this can be a little bit, you know, rough and ready and...
A little more forgiving.
Yeah. So that flour, you really don't want, I guess, that to burn or scorch. Like, would it impede the flavour? Yeah.
Yeah. This would be called a blonde roux.
Okay.
As opposed to a dark roux, a brown roux. Cajun cooking, we use the brown roux.
And, like, how essential is a roux if you are going to be using the potatoes and stuff? Like flour, even just throwing a little bit of flour.
Yes, you could throw a little bit of flour in. You
Yeah.
could throw a little bit of corn flour, or you could just mix a little bit of flour and butter in your hand. It's called beurre meunier.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just put that in at the end.
Okay.
It's another way to thicken
I
it.
thought you were going to say flour and milk in a cup, you know, throw it in, yeah.
You could do that too.
Yeah. So now you're adding clam juice.
Yep. So I just picked this up at the store.
Okay.
I'm going to put 2 clam juice in.
Now, I would say this is not something we typically have in Ireland, clam juice, but you could use vegetable stock.
You could.
Or if you were very creative and had boiled fish heads and tails and all that, you could have fish stock that you made yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that too. Okay, so this will just naturally thicken.
Because the flour's gone in.
Yep. We're going to cook that a while.
Okay.
We're going to add the tomato now.
All right. So this has been pre-blanched and skinned.
Pre-blanched and skinned, yeah.
And again, you know, tomato is probably optional.
Yes, you could.
But all these things are, yeah.
Yeah, the main ingredients are the onion, the cream,
And the fish, yeah. So I know you haven't added in the fish yet, but the choice of fish too is very wide open, right?
Sure.
Some textures work better than others, you were saying?
Absolutely. So a firm-fleshed white fish is preferred. Again, you could use clams, you could use mussels.
Yeah. There's almost always mussels in Ireland, I would say.
Yeah.
Because you can buy a pack, you know, chowder mix and everything is in it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like mussels or shellfish, so...
Right, there's people that are allergic to shellfish.
Yeah.
White fish. We're putting shrimp and
haddock.
Salmon and haddock.
And not from frozen or...
So I like to buy, well, haddock comes previously frozen.
Okay.
Occasionally you can get fresh haddock. If you can get fresh fish, it's much better.
Right.
Salmon, always fresh.
Yeah, I kind of always have a bag of prawns in my freezer though. Could I throw them in or should I defrost them first?
You should defrost them.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. They'll just cook a little bit better if they're thawed. So I'm going to just show you the fish.
Yeah.
We're almost ready for that.
Okay, good. So because you parboiled your potatoes, you're leaving them until a bit later?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So the fish, I dice the fish all about the same size. So that they'll cook at the same.
But a nice, bigger almost than a bite size, you know, you want it to be a decent, because it'll probably shrink a bit.
Yes. Yeah.
So that, God, the salmon looks beautiful.
The salmon and the shrimp and the haddock are here.
Now with that haddock, you could have used cod, I suppose.
Sure.
Yeah. Or John Dory, is that the new one that they,
Yeah. I would stay away from flounder. I think it's a little bit flaky.
Yeah, or hake, those kinds of skinny ones.
Yeah. So I'm also going to add a little cream now.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. I thought cream would go at the end. I'll show you all this again.
Okay, we're going to bring that to a boil.
While I had you on the fish, like, it's expensive, but could you use monkfish and all that?
Yes.
You know, yeah.
Absolutely.
Or scallops, yeah.
Yeah, scallops for sure. Bay scallops or sea scallops.
Okay.
Monkfish, absolutely. Monkfish is very firm.
Yeah.
And whitefish is delicious. Yes.
And now what about a bay leaf or anything like that? Is it too overwhelming, a bay leaf?
You know, you could put a bay leaf in. A lot of the American chowders have bay leaf.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that would be fine.
Okay.
And some actually put fresh thyme in.
Oh, fresh thyme, nice,
Yeah.
yeah. I think the fennel is beautiful though, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to go with the fennel. for this. Okay, so we're just about out of boil, and now I'm going to add
The fish.
the fish. And then basically, you just let this come to a simmer again, and you're all set.
Oh, that looks delicious. Now, I meant to ask you about your prawns. Would you mind holding up a prawn?
Yes.
Yeah. They're pretty big, like.
Yeah, so these are, the size is a 16-20,
Okay.
is what it's called, and I just cut those up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, come back again. Yeah, they're nice. Okay.
Yeah. So with these, you, of course, take the shell off, and then split them and
Okay.
devein them.
So the little pink ones that I have in my frozen bag,
They're
are they
already
scanty
cooked.
kind of? Yeah, they'd be okay.
So you could, yeah, sure,
Just
you could
throw
add
them in.
those, but just add those at the end.
Okay, yeah,
They
yeah.
just need to be rethermalized, just reheated. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
need to be actually cooked. These you actually have to
Have to
cook.
cook.
a little bit, yeah. So
And
I'm
with the
gonna add
mussels,
potatoes now too.
Oh yeah, throw those in. I see in some of the pictures online, I don't think I've ever gotten a mussel in a shell in Chowder in Ireland, but some people do leave them in the shells.
Yes.
But I suppose it's a bit more work, you know. Like at
Yes.
least if you are buying the mussels already taken out and stuff, they're ready to just throw in.
So yeah, if
Yeah.
you buy the mussels, you can buy them already cooked. You can also
Oh.
buy them, so they're cooked and frozen.
Okay.
Like you said about a seafood pack,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
would already be pre-blanched and ready to go.
Okay.
But mussels cook very easily. They just put them in a pot
Okay.
with a little bit of white wine, and then just steam them open, and then take the mussel out.
Right.
add
And
it to the
if the
chowder.
shell does not open, don't force it and
No,
don't
yeah.
eat that one.
No,
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
usually
you
you
know
get
all
one
about
filled
it.
with mud, and
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
just put that aside.
Okay.
And then the liquor, which they call the juice that comes out of the mussel, is delicious.
Yeah.
And you should use that as your stock.
Okay, okay.
So that.
And
is a
now
good-
did you only use, oh, you used 2 bottles of the clam?
Yeah, just 2 bottles of
Yeah.
the clam.
And am I right in thinking that it'd be quite salty? I've never had clam juice.
Clam juice is very salty.
Yeah, okay.
So you have to be
So
careful.
we have to be careful, yeah.
So I wait until I have that in there before I season it.
Okay, yeah.
But it probably will take a little bit of salt and pepper.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure black pepper absolutely
Yeah.
be delicious.
Yep. So I'm going to put some in now.
And now, of course, we could add chili flakes to this if we wanted, you know. What about like the fish sauce, you know, for Chinese cooking? No.
You could. You could put that in. Yep. I thought about that the other day. A lot of people put Worcestershire in
Yeah.
their chowder,
Okay.
which is similar to a fish sauce.
Yeah.
Sort of,
See,
the
no,
American
I
style.
wouldn't like that. I don't think. I like, so, you know, and to the color, you don't want the brown drops to kind of change the color of the thing. I guess.
This should be snow white.
Yeah. Because actually, even the tomatoes have kind of vanished in there. You know, they're gone.
Yep.
Yeah. So the pink is the salmon there.
Yes.
And
Here's one I made last night.
Oh.
I'm just reheating.
yeah, with the magic of TV.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, that looks beautiful.
So
Now, if it was too thick and clumpy at this stage, you would add maybe vegetable stock or milk.
maybe vegetable stock, maybe milk.
Okay, yeah.
You
The
can
Irish
add
are big
some-
believers in milk. Yeah, or more wine. You know,
You can add more wine,
if you were
for
using
sure.
wine.
Yeah. So this only takes about another 6 to 7 minutes.
Okay,
You just want the to make sure that the shrimp is cooked all the way.
right.
That'll probably take the longest.
The shrimp. Oh wow.
Yeah. It's a little firmer than the other
Okay, yeah.
two.
And your potatoes are already cooked, so if they
Potatoes are
had
already
not
cooked.
been cooked, we would be talking 15-20 minutes, you know, for
Right.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just made those ahead.
And
if you want it very hearty,
yeah,
you can just make it thicker.
Yeah.
If you want it a little bit thinner. If you want to, you could just add more stock to it.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I think stock rather than even the clam juice, because that strikes me as being such a strong flavour. You don't want to go overboard.
You don't want to go
yeah.
overboard with that. Right.
So yeah, vegetable stock, pint of that maybe, or you know, as we said, some of the alcohols, would be nice. And then yeah, this was something that you know they prepared because they had the stuff. You know, you had a couple of potatoes, you had an onion, and then whatever fish was there. Yeah.
And you might even thicken it with a leftover piece of bread.
Yeah, and you said yeah. Now, so speaking of the bread, Harold, brown bread would be the best. I have actually seen it with yellow meal flour too. Do you want to come in
Sure.
and elucidate for the people? But he made beautiful brown bread, of course, Harold, today. But yeah, and so talk to us about breads.
I'm going to bring the bread over for you.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah, I get it.
You want to bring the bread over?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The brown bread. Brown bread is traditional with this chowder, and we didn't want to make it too sweet, did we?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. So, what's interesting about this is it's a no-knead bread,
Okay.
and it's this particular style of brown bread is yeast.
Oh, okay.
So you just mix it together, and then you put it in the low pan.
Yeast. Does it take you to let it sit there for an hour to rise?
Just about 45 minutes to 50 until it reaches the
top of the pan.
crown of the low pan.
Okay. Wow.
All right. Now the ingredients in this style, it comes from Ballymaloe Cooking School in County Cork and Shanagary. It has the Oatlands coarse whole wheat flour.
Okay.
Coarse meaning it has the total berry.
Yeah, yeah.
It has the germ, it has the bran, and it has the endosperm.
Yeah. So it's actually a bit rough, kind
It's
of. Yeah.
it's really coarse. But it also has oat bran, wheat bran, and it has barley.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Barley bran.
Yeah, we're getting our 5 a day in there.
And the grain in here is quite significant.
Okay.
And it's dense.
Yeah.
And
Which you kind of need actually for the chowder, even though the chowder is
yes,
so meaty.
Yes.
It's nice to have the chewy bread.
And it's so typical in the culture of Irish food because you can put a piece of cured salmon on it with some butter and it tastes mighty good.
It does.
So let's cook it. Let's cut it and take a look at its texture. And
so you did not, or did you use molasses or?
I used molasses, and I know in Ireland it's treacle.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically the same. And there is a little bit of brown sugar in this.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And I'm very proud to say that the liquid in this is a little bit of Guinness.
Oh, good. Okay.
And a little bit of Magner's hard cider.
Oh.
For the liquid.
Okay, we're definitely getting our 5 a day there with the apples.
How's that sound, Chef? Very good. All right, let's give it a shot.
So yeah, the bread, I think I've had this bread before, Harold. It's beautiful. But, you could make the soda bread with just brown flour if you wanted to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
So yeah, there it is, lovely. Look at those bits in the middle.
All right. Chef, would you like to...
Well, that looks delicious.
you got to give it a smell. And
Oh, wow.
and there is... the little white specks in there is actually barley flakes.
Okay.
All right. So, would you like me to cut some?
Oh, God, do, please. Oh, and here we're plating it up. And then, yeah, so look, the broth actually is a little bit pinker. I don't know if you're picking that up on the camera, but was that parsley?
Yes, a little bit of parsley.
Okay, instead of the fennel. Oh.
Yes, you could put a little bit.
Yeah. Now, there you go. We have it all now. Beautiful. And bread. So actually that's delicious, I have to say, looking. It smells amazing in here because none of the flavors overwhelm the other. Like, that's the nice thing I think about these kind of stewed things, is that you can't really get the clam smell or the fennel smell. They're all melded together. It's beautiful.
Oh yes, the aroma is definitely permeating the room.
Yeah, Skip says it looks amazing. It does. Even when I walked in, it was beautiful. So these two are chefs. We're delighted to have them on camera together and doing this series to kind of bring Irish food to everybody. It is delicious, Sarah, I'm going to tell you. We're looking forward to tucking into it afterwards. So we'll post the recipes on the website, and it'll be kind of later on today because I don't have time to type them up right now, but somebody might email me them, and we'll put them on the Facebook too so that you can have these recipes. But like what we're trying to do, to be honest, is although we're saying the Irish food is tasty and beautiful, it's also simple. Like, we're not trying to complicate this for anybody. Good, fresh, clean ingredients and not labor intensive,
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. Linda, I wish we could give you some, but we can't. But thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And take care, everyone. So our next event at the museum Monday, we're live down there. Well, I better flip it back to me. Just while they're telling you. So on Monday, we're in the museum with a screening of Aireacht, which is the Irish language movie about the Great Hunger. It's Aireacht means monster, and so that was filmed. We've been graciously donated the screening by Culture Ireland and the Irish Film Institute. So that's in person at 6 o'clock in the museum. And then next week also we have a couple of talks on the 15th actually with an author about the Kennedys, the early Kennedys. So he's going to talk about Honey Fitz and all of that kind of gang. So stay tuned, check our Facebook or YouTube, and of course the website. Everything is kind of cross-posted all the times. So thank you very much, and thanks for tuning in. And we'll be back next month. I don't know if we're doing something in July. We haven't picked our recipe yet, but we will definitely be continuing this series. So thank you very much. And cook Irish and cook healthy. Take care.